Sorry, Josh.
Let's get things going.
Hey guys, welcome back. We have our top 20 running back rankings today. Josh couldn't do the top 32, so we have our top 20.
I won't go through all of 32.
Yeah. That would be a long ass episode too. The quarterback one, like, dude, we were yapping. No,
I
you
loved
were.
our quarterback episode.
Yeah, because it was you talking the whole time.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I bet it was. I bet it was a great time.
I got a lot off my chest in that episode.
I bet you did.
I really did. I got to talk in depth about every quarterback.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It was a blast, Josh. It was a great time. It was an awesome time, dude. But yeah, today we're doing running backs. It's gonna get weird. It's gonna get interesting. And I don't even know what to think about this list. Also,
Yeah,
I'm
this is the thing here. By the way, episode 91 of Burns and Berman. We're getting close to 100.
Yeah, I know we're getting really close.
We are.
Then let's do 100 quarterback rankings. The Josh Yap Fest. But I want a preference on here. I will not be able to do a show on Monday.
Okay.
It's Memorial Day. I'll be at Brewers Cubs in Milwaukee. But I will be.
Oh yeah, Memorial Day is Monday.
Yeah, I am good for Wednesday. I am good for Friday. So,
all right, cool.
Those two, check them in, lock them in. We'll be there for that. What are we going to do on Wednesday?
Receiver rankings?
I'm trying to think of another position because we kind of are doing all the powerhouses to like
receivers
all the
next.
Left.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm thinking that we save receivers for a little bit.
You want to do tight ends?
Sure. Tight ends should be swell.
And those, by the way, because I already got the rankings for every position here. In terms of tight ends, I'm going to do you a favor and say we're going to do top 20, maybe even top 15.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like, because it's tougher for that. But for running backs, I'm going to preface before we get started, and then Burns is the same way with these rankings. These are not fantasy football rankings.
Nope.
This is not about fantasy football. This is not about how good they are there. This is just about how good of a player they are. I mean, there's very, very good fantasy running backs who are not that good in real life. Shout out Raheem Mostert. They just aren't that good. But because it's top 20, that means there are definitely some good players that I don't have on my list. So I'm not gonna read through like the 32. I'm just gonna read off just some names that are deserving of mention, just honorable mentions here. I'll go through them. And again, these guys are not on my list for the top 20. Ramondre Stevenson, DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Brooks, the rookie for the Panthers, Jalen Warren, Rashad White, Devon Achane, and Kenneth Walker.
2 of those players are in my top 20 that you just listed.
I'm sure. Yeah. And I mean, I'm probably lower on Kenneth Walker than most. I would assume that's one of them. And the other one's probably just Swift, just because Bears.
Well, Swift, actually 3 of the players that you listed are in my top 20. I refreshed that, so.
I am.
All right. I guess I'll kick it off. At number 20, at number 20 on my list, I have Kyren Williams.
What? That's
he's a dog, dude.
I agree.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Correct.
Yeah, I have
That's why I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know, dude. I have him low. I'm not that high on him. I got him at 20.
We got some time before I get to him.
Okay.
We got some time.
That's fine, dude.
Kyren Williams. Wow. I'm very surprised. I did not expect to hear that name yet.
Yeah, I'm sleeping on Kyren Williams.
I mean, he was the second most productive running back in the NFL last year.
No, I know, but he's
not number 2 on my list. But I like in terms of just production, CMC was the only running back more productive than him.
Yeah, and his fall off is coming this year.
He is struggling with a foot injury. That is worth talking about, and is why I did move him down a couple spots, because we don't know, like, running back, short shelf life. We don't know what he's going to look like coming off a foot injury.
You
Jack,
agree with
wow.
who, Jack?
Damn,
Me?
Jack's.
Fuck yeah. Yes, sir. That's what we do.
Wow.
Yep. I'm
All right.
dude. It's that simple. Who's your 20?
Coming in at number 20 for me is Najee Harris.
Oh. Yeah, no, he didn't crack my top 20.
Jaylen Warren is just outside of my top 20, and Najee is at 20. I'll tell you, Jaylen Warren is number 24 on here. They're both very solid running backs. I don't think either of them are like elite guys, but they're both really solid. They're both really productive. Pittsburgh improved the O-line greatly this offseason. So they're going to be running the hell out of that football next year, and Justin Fields is going to be involved in, I'm sure, some packages as well. He's not the starting quarterback, but I am sure they're gonna run that ball a lot. I mean, there's also Arthur Smith coming there, who Arthur Smith loves to run the ball anyway. So
yeah. At number 19, I have James Cook.
I mean, I think that's a little low too, but that's not like I got him higher than that, but that's not like insane.
Is that crazy? Okay. I was just making sure.
I do have him higher, but that's not like insane.
Yeah, I just don't see him like. I don't know. I think James Cook is fine. He does what he does. I mean, I feel like that's a perfect spot if we did a 32 list because he's right in the middle of the pack. That's honestly where I have him in general. So I feel like that's fine. I
agree. My 19 is who do I have? David Montgomery is my number 19. That's the thing about doing these top 20 lists. Like, it feels weird saying these names early on because, I mean, I'm looking at a top 32 list and I'm saying these guys first off, but like I have him at number 19 in the NFL.
Yeah,
like it's a good player.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
I do not think he is the best running back on his team. He has his teammate is a decent amount higher on this list than Montgomery is, but he's a very solid player. I think this year it is going to be what we saw towards the end of last season, which is
a lot more Gibbs, a less
the Jahmyr Gibbs show. David Montgomery is a very good complement to him. When they ask to rely on Montgomery, he can do it and he's good, but I definitely think Gibbs is better. But he's a solid player. It's just that we're doing top 20. So saying a name like this is a little feels early, but no, I mean, 19 is a good spot for him, I feel like.
Yeah. All right. My 18 is Travis Etienne Jr.
That is, I like him.
Yes, I love Travis Etienne. Dude.
I unfortunately don't have him much higher than you do. But when he's at his best, I think he is flirting with a top 5 spot on this list. I really do. I think when he's at his absolute best, he is a top 5 running back in the league.
Yeah,
problem is he's not consistent enough. In terms of relying on him as a bell cow, he can't do it. And we saw Jacksonville try that a lot last year. He's just not that type of player, but he's really good. But unfortunately, I don't have him much higher than you do, but he is a little higher for me.
Yeah. Okay. Who's your 18?
My number 18 is a guy that I feel like has become very underrated. But I feel like he's underrated, but now that I'm looking at this list, I feel like he might be a little bit too high on my list. I might have to move him down. That is James Conner.
Yeah, he didn't crack my top.
Yeah, like I feel like he's underrated, but now that I'm like looking at my list as a top 20 and not a top 32, like no, he should. I feel like I should move him down. I'm gonna call an audible. Actually, I'm gonna move him down a little. I'm gonna move. So David Montgomery is 18. Najee is 19. I'll put Connor at 20. Like this, Trey Benson is gonna be good this year.
That didn't need to be an on-camera appearance, but I appreciate it, Burns.
See you, Jack. I like giving Jack on-camera appearances. It's fun.
Shout out, Jack.
But yeah. So you moved him around.
That's the thing. I mean, Trey Benson, I think, is going to come in and do well, but I think Connor is pretty underrated, and he's been productive for a while too.
Yeah.
But I moved him down to 20.
My 17 on this list is Devon Chain.
I love that. It's Achan, but
A chance. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
I
Let me
I
talk.
did not
Look,
think
he's great. He's so fast. He's awesome. I love watching him play in Miami. He has great stats too. I think that 17 is a perfect place for him, and I could see him moving up this year as well.
I am shocked that you have him higher than I do because I
Really?
love this guy. And actually hearing you say this, because he's a player that like I felt I just hadn't seen enough of him. Maybe I'm going a little bit too early. Hearing you say like, no, this guy, like saying this guy is legit already, and hearing that a lot of people are like, I'm calling another audible with that. I'm gonna move him up. In fact, I'm gonna put him at 20. Connor at 21, Kenneth Walker at 22. I'll put Achan at 20, and I agree with you. I think he's gonna be good. I mean, in terms of efficiency, he had the highest yards per carry by a running back like ever last season. This dude had 7.8 yards per carry. That's a ridiculous number. Ridiculous.
Yeah. He's a fucking beast, bro.
That's like Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields type number. In fact, it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. So I love that ranking for him. And I agree. I think he's gonna skyrocket up this list next year. Skyrocket.
Oh, show. Thank you, big dog. All right. Who's your 17?
Again, this is not a fantasy list. And if we're going off fantasy football, he might be the most disappointing player in the entire NFL last season. But I still think I think he's still a good player. And I think he'll bounce back. I think he'll bounce back in fantasy as well. But in terms of just real life, Tony Pollard is a guy that I still think has it in him.
Pollard, he's our man.
I saw that video the other day. But yeah, fantasy football people know how disappointing he was in terms of that. But he was also playing banged up most of the year. Once he got fully healthy, he was a much, much better player, which unfortunately was late in the fantasy football season. So people didn't give him the credit that he deserved. But I think he'll be very good in Tennessee. Brian Callahan over there, they love to build that O-line. I think Pollard will have a bounce back fantasy year, and I think he'll continue to be a very good player.
Hell yeah, dude. My 16 on this list is a man who you mentioned earlier, not in your top 20, is Kenneth Walker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm pretty high on him. I think that he's a fucking beast. And just, I know that we talked about Sharp too, putting him up there, but no, I think that Kenneth Walker is going to own that fucking backfield, and he is going to go crazy.
It's one of those rankings that just the running back rankings every year is the position that probably more than any other that I will look at and say, man, there's some guys on here that I'm just going to be way lower on than most, and either I'm going to be proven right or I'm going to look back and say, what the hell was I thinking having him that low? Kenneth Walker is going to be that guy this year, where either I'm going to look back on and say, no, I was right on him, or I'm going to laugh myself saying, you're an idiot not having him even in your top 20. Like I don't see an in between with him.
Yeah.
I
agree with that.
Because when he's good, he is really good. There's something that I can't quite put my finger on, and that's always the toughest players to rank, where there's just, I can't even tell you the reason, but for some reason, I just don't think he's that good.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I am proven right and sometimes I'm proven wrong. And we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Who's your 16?
My 16 is Joe Mixon of the Houston Texans. A guy that, by the way, because he's not at this peak anymore at all.
Yeah.
And you can argue that he's too high right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, when that man was at his peak, one of the most underrated players in the entire NFL. Speaking from someone who is an AFC North fan, like this guy was so good in Cincinnati at his peak. Like really, really good. I think you can say he was flirting with a top 5 running back in the league at his peak. But he's just not that player anymore. That's why Cincinnati, I think, was perfectly fine with getting rid of him. And he's another guy that I feel like next year, I don't see him at 14 next year. I see him either in my top 10 or off my top 32 entirely. I think he's going to have one of those 2 years where, because first of all, he's at that age where you start to see the fall off, and he did start to fall off a little bit last year. I mean, Chase Brown playing the way he did is a huge reason why Cincinnati was comfortable getting rid of him. Where next year he's either going to be closer to my top 10 than he already is, or off the top 32 entirely, and time will tell. But for now, 16.
That's not bad. 15 for me is Joe Mixon as well.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I don't really got to say much because we're both up there. We both have him. So, yeah, I think that he'll do fine in Houston. He just won't shock too many people.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Talk about shocking. Maybe the most shocking move to me of the entire offseason was Josh Jacobs signing with the Green Bay Packers. Like, that was so out of nowhere. That there was nothing at all that, like, there were no rumors, no nothing. There was no free agency signing that was just like, what? More than that one. And I have him at 15, and spoiler alert, Aaron Jones is higher than 15.
Aaron Jones is way higher than where I have Josh Jacobs.
But another guy at his peak that wasn't that long ago, and this guy is, well, actually, he's not as young as people think because he entered the league a little older. Like, I'm pretty sure he's like 27 or 28, if I'm correct. Let me look.
Yeah.
No, he's 26. I'm wrong. Okay. Never mind. Okay, I take that back. But still, he's a guy that just, a little more consistency I need out of him. What he did in 22 was incredible. And the Raiders were such a mess last year. And I don't know how much of that was on him. It's another ranking where it's just like, I don't really know. But I think 15 is just a good spot for him.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, at number 14, I got my boy who I still love, David Montgomery. He is a fucking beast. I have him high on this list because I love Monty, dude. He is such a fucking dog. He is a bell cow, as you said earlier. You give him the ball, and even if he gets hit for the first time, he will run through 3 other people before he goes down. I fucking love David Montgomery. He's a beast. He's my 14.
He's a perfect compliment to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yes, he is, dude.
Perfect compliment. He's in the perfect place. Was Aaron Jones nice, Burns?
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see if you thought he was nice.
We'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
Fair enough. 14, Travis Etienne.
Oh, you got him high. Wow.
Yeah. I like him. I really like him. And I think that you can argue this is too low. But again, similar to a lot of these guys on this list, it's an issue of consistency. And you compare him to a guy like David Montgomery. I would trust David Montgomery with 350 carries more than I would trust Travis Etienne with 350 carries. But I'm trusting Travis Etienne more than I'm trusting David Montgomery if I'm a team on a 2-minute drill trying to help move the ball down the field. If you need a short run, he can get it, but then you can get it to him in the backfield. He can do a lot. It's situational. Even if you have a guy like, give him both 100 touches in the season. Etienne's going to do more with that than Montgomery will.
Yeah.
But that's kind of why I have him there. But you can't rely on him to be an RB.
I think that Etienne is so on and off, bro. That's the thing, is that David Montgomery is so consistent. That's the big thing, dude.
That's all. That's very true.
Yeah. 13 for me. I put my boy there who's about to have a boom of a year this season. DeAndre Swift.
That's hot.
He is about to boom. Like AJ and Big Justice. Like a big boom. That's what's going to happen to DeAndre Swift. Because here's the thing, right? He's great at running the football. We already know this. But the thing is that he's a passing back. And the Eagles did not use him for that whatsoever. They didn't. Detroit did. He was great in Detroit when he was getting past the ball. And it's going to be beautiful because that's exactly what Shane Waldron's going to see. And he's going to go, bet. And it's really that simple. DeAndre Swift, 13.
If Michael was here, he would agree with you. Michael really likes him too. I don't not like him, but I'm lower on him than at least Michael. I don't know. I'm not sure if more people would agree with you or me. in terms of where he is, but I for one can tell you that Michael agrees with you. Michael really likes him. I just like he's a good player. I just don't think he's on that level. I just don't. And injury history, massive injury history, which is what Francis is talking about in the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
That you also
He'll
have to
be
keep in
okay.
mind. But while we're on the topic of the Bears, like Khalil Herbert, to me
Probably
is a
not
guy that like Khalil Herbert is not far off from being in my top 32.
Dude, he's fucking great. He's a great back.
So, like, they don't have to rely on Swift as much. The problem is Herbert and Swift are not like they feel fairly similar.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how they're going to use them both. Did you resub? I did not see that. Let me take a look at the Twitch chat, Francis.
There you go, Joshua.
26 months. Jesus.
Bro, why were you in New York at a DJ stand just clicking the air horn button the whole time?
What are you talking about?
You were in New York. I'm
Is there
serious.
something here that I just don't get?
You were in New York.
I'm very confused right now. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't know the reference. I don't know what. I have no idea what he's
You were in New York.
Who, Joshua Block?
No, you were. Yeah, you were DJing. To a whole crowd. I'm serious, dude.
Huh?
Jack knows. Jack
Good
knows.
for me.
Yeah, you had a whole bar. It was like a whole DJ sesh.
Yes,
for
dude.
me.
And everybody was getting like crazy hype. I'm not even lying.
Solid.
How do you not remember those?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's crazy
how do you
night.
just forget that, dude? In literally one day.
It's a crazy night. Oh,
How are we feeling, New York?
oh, I feel bad.
How
for
were
him.
you feeling, New York, Joshua?
Crowd doesn't seem very into it. I feel bad.
Dude, they were into it. There's some videos.
They
of
went
them.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were there.
All right.
JJ.
What number we at? 13? Yeah, 13. This is where I have James Cook.
Wow.
You had him at 19.
Mm-hmm.
I like him more than that. I really
Okay.
do. I think he's another player that I really like, and Josh Allen being there will make any running back look good. But I expect Buffalo to run the hell out of the ball this year, just as in general. The Bills are going to be a very run-heavy team next year. I'm going to make that prediction right now. And that's part of the reason why I think Buffalo is going to be way better than a lot of people. Like if Buffalo is just as good as they were last year, I really would not be surprised. I don't know if I'm going to predict that.
I think they're going to get a little bit worse.
Especially in the AFC with it being as good as it was. But I think them running the ball, I don't know. I have a weird feeling about Buffalo just kind of being okay. Like not really.
I think they'll be okay. I'm not saying
no,
that.
but I mean like they're not going to have a massive fall off. They might, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if they win like 12 games this year. And a huge part of that is Josh Allen and James Cook in that backfield together. And I believe, didn't they draft somebody? I think they did. Let me look. I think they drafted another guy that's going to help him run the ball. I'm double checking. I think, was it Ray Davis? Did they draft Ray Davis? Let's see. I feel like they did. They did. They drafted Ray Davis from Kentucky in the 4th round, who I think is going to be pretty good for them as well. So, yeah, keep an eye on them.
Okay.
All right,
man.
12.
12 for me is Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
Who's your 12?
My 12 is a guy that I've felt has been a weird ranking for me his whole career. But Alvin Kamara.
Really? Okay.
He's been, him and Travis Etienne are very similar players. Very similar. And it's just, I can't trust him to be a guy that is going to be productive in short yardage. Like when you like Taysom Hill is a guy that they use in short yardage situations more than they use Alvin Kamara. And it's a part of his game that's just lacking that I can't put him as high as I think a lot of people do, but what he's good at, he's one of the best in the NFL at. So you can't knock him, but I've had him lower on these running back rankings for years, but he is very good.
Okay.
He's very fun to watch too. I mean, the entertainment value of him is crazy.
We might hear Alvin Kamara's name soon. Number 11 for me is Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I got
like
Jahmyr
that.
Gibbs here. The only reason, like, dude, if he was a solo back on any other team, I would have him higher. But I don't know. I just feel like 11's fine.
Okay.
I just feel like that's fine. If he was a solo back, he would be way higher, dude. But I mean, him still splitting, even though it's going to be less, him still splitting carries with David Montgomery is like sucks.
Talk about way higher. Kyron Williams, number 11.
Wow, you got him really high, dude.
I do. And I had him higher until I heard about this weird foot issue that he has.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for that, I had him in my top 10. I mean, outside of Christian McCaffrey, he was the best running back in the NFL. Straight up.
Yeah, he had a good year.
And he's a complete back, too. He is someone that I can trust to do pretty much everything, do it well. He's a perfect fit for that McVay offense. There's, to me, really no reason why he shouldn't be talked about as a top 10 running back. And it's not like he isn't in fantasy. I mean, in fantasy football, he was great too. So people know. It's not like he's a secret. I guess it's just a little bit of a smaller sample size and people are a little hesitant, but this guy's a stud. He really is.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It is Blake Corum season, though. That's true.
Okay. Number 10 for me on my
Top
list.
10 running backs in the NFL here.
Yep. A guy who I said was going to be named soon, Alvin Kamara. Welcome to the list, buddy. Alvin Kamara is my 10. He is one of my favorite running backs in the entire NFL just because he's fun. He is fun to watch, dude. Especially when he played against the Vikings and just absolutely beat the dog shit out of them. That was awesome.
Touchdowns. Ridiculous.
Yes, that was such an awesome game. Alvin Kamara, super fun back. Every year, he's pretty consistent besides when he was suspended last season. He's got to figure it out, bro. I love Kamara.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in terms of entertainment value, he is probably top 5.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there's just parts of his game that I think are lacking, which we talked about earlier. But
Mm-hmm.
my number 10, Aaron Jones.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he struggled a lot last year. But then something weird happened right around Thanksgiving. It probably is just he got healthy. But for a good chunk of the year, he was straight up not good. Like, at all. And that's why I'm a little lower on him. But, man, once we hit around Thanksgiving, he was unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. And what he did in the playoffs against Dallas, I mean, doesn't get talked about enough. He was incredible down the stretch of last season.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
I don't know. I still don't really know why Green Bay got rid of him. It's probably it's a contract thing, I guess, but
dude, it just makes no fucking sense at all.
I don't get it either.
Yeah. But then for 9 on my list, I got Breece Hall.
That's low.
Which really you think that's low?
I think most people are gonna agree with where you have him compared to me, but I got him a good amount higher. I think the consensus is where you have him. But I am personally much higher on him than most. Much higher.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think he's fine at 9. I think that he does his job. He's a top 10 running back and everything. But hold on. My father's calling.
Okay. But yeah, now Breece Hall is I really, really like him. But I think the consensus is more of where Burns has him, which is right around top 10. While we wait for Burns, we'll bring Jack on here. Jack, what do you think about these rankings so far? Who do you think's had the better list?
Solid. I mean, I like Burns to start. I had to attend to some things, so I didn't hear like 15 to where you are now.
Yeah,
If you can give me quick.
Honestly, yeah, we'll run through it here. My list: number 20, Devon Achane; 19, Najee Harris; 18, David Montgomery; 17, Tony Pollard; 16, Joe Mixon; 15, Josh Jacobs; 14, ETN; 13, James Cook; 12, Alvin Kamara; 11, Kyron Williams; and 10, Aaron Jones. Burns: 20, Kyron Williams; 19, James Cook; 18, Travis Etienne; 17, Achane; 16, Kenneth Walker; 15, Joe Mixon; 14, David Montgomery; 13, DeAndre Swift; 12, Josh Jacobs; 11, Jahmyr Gibbs; 10, Alvin Kamara.
I feel like Burns. I mean, I would say the only big thing is I don't like Kyron that high.
Yeah,
I just think he's had a very long history of injury concerns.
he has.
And the fact that he's dealing with another foot injury again is concerning.
It is.
So just from that point, like if you were ranking like last season, I would get that. But if
Last season, he'd be number 2.
Yeah, but I'm just saying if you were going off, well, who would you have who's your number 1? McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Raheem Mostert?
He just was goal line. Like Achane and him were.
He had 21 touchdowns.
He did, but how many of them were like? Hold on, let me. Raheem Mostert.
I'm gonna let.
I'd say I wouldn't have Kyron Williams as number 2 if you consider everything else.
Yeah. Raheem Mostert
10,
last season.
Was that?
Raheem Mostert last season. Here are his touchdowns: 2-yard touchdown, 8-yard touchdown. He had a 43-yard touchdown, which was his longest of the year. 20 yards, 3 yards, 1 yard, 19 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 1 yard, 1 yard, 13, 13, 34, 1, 3, 5, 2, 1, 4. So
that's still what, like 7, 8, like 10 plus yard touchdowns?
Yeah. Which is why he's a good player, but 21 is kind of crazy.
I'm just saying I wouldn't have Raheem Mostert as my number 2. That's just the first person that came to mind. I'm just saying I wouldn't have Kyron Williams as my number 2 last year.
Fair enough. Burns.
Dude, did you like that? I was going back and forth as you guys were talking.
No, I don't like looking at myself when I talk.
Yeah, that felt weird.
I kind of do. What's up, guys? Yeah, party's arrived. Here we go. All right. Now we go to I tried to get Josh back. Nope.
There we go. All right. My number 9 is Jahmyr Gibbs.
2 number 9s.
Number
6.
I think he's gonna have a massive year this year. Massive year. And again, what he did down the stretch last year was incredible. And I think he's just going to continue to get better. Even though Montgomery is the perfect complement to him, the more I watch Jahmyr Gibbs, the more I don't know if he needs a guy to complement him. You know? I think Jahmyr Gibbs can be that good. I really do. He's a monster. And you can argue he's too low on this list. And I got him higher than you do. And I part of me thinks he should be even higher.
Hell yeah. My number 8 on my list is the Pac-Man. Isaiah Pacheco.
Burns. For the first time today, we are in agreement.
Yeah! Joshua Block, baby. Hell yeah. There we go. But yeah, no, I think that Isaiah Pacheco, that he deserves his spot at number 8. I hope that we might agree on this next one, bro.
We'll see. But yeah, Pacheco. We talk about Kamara's fun factor.
Yeah.
Pacheco might be my favorite running back to watch in the NFL. He's so just the way he runs. The tweet I saw, he runs like he's angry at the turf. It's true. He's so fun to watch. He's a great player, a really good player. Mm-hmm. And when Kansas City's offense was struggling last year, pretty much the whole season, the one guy who it felt like they really could rely on. I mean, even Travis Kelce had a lot of ups and downs last year. A guy that was good pretty much from start to finish was Isaiah Pacheco. Really was. Helped me out in fantasy football as well, but whenever the Chiefs really needed to get something going, they just dialed up a run play with him, and he got it done.
Yeah.
And,
he did.
He's a great player. You think we're gonna? You said we think we're gonna agree on this one too. Number 7,
Potentially.
Let's see. Who is it?
Jonathan Taylor.
Nope. I got him a little higher.
No, Josh.
Not much higher, but I do have him a little higher. Oh wait, shit! Hold up. No, I don't.
E7.
I was looking at the wrong thing. We do agree.
Yeah.
We do agree. My bad. My bad. We do agree. Jonathan Taylor, number 7.
Jonathan Taylor at 7. I thought of this dude, like literally, I thought that this was the perfect spot for him. Yeah, dude.
I like JT at 7. He's a great player as well. But when he's at his best, man, it does feel like a perfect spot, but it also feels too low. It feels too low, but it also feels right. Because his peak was 2 years ago in 21. Or I'm sorry, in 22. But wait, was it 21 or 22 when he was at his best?
I think it was 21.
Yeah, actually, I think it was 2. Now that I think about it.
I think it was the year after.
Yeah, it was 21. Yeah, like last season, he had 741 yards, 861 2 years ago. But when he's at his best, he's incredible. And that's it's part of the reason why the next guy on this list is also also feels too low.
I can tell you right now, we don't disagree on this one. We don't agree on this one.
But this guy feels too low, but there's something in terms of just reliability of every single week that I'm missing.
Mm-hmm.
But that is why I got Saquon at 6.
Oh, okay. That's fine. For my 6, I have a name that was mentioned earlier, Aaron Jones.
Wow.
Yeah, I got Aaron Jones all the way up here, dude. People asked if I thought he was good or not. He was a fucking beast. He murdered us every single time we played. I was so happy. I was really scared for like the 5 minutes when the Packers had Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs. But then right when they cut Aaron Jones, I was so happy, dude. Josh Jacobs is good. But I don't think he fucking compares to how good Aaron Jones is. I think that he's going to ball out in Minnesota too, and he's just going to be a tank.
I will give you a name, though, for Green Bay this year that you need to keep an eye on. And I think as the season goes on, he's going to get a lot of touches and he's going to be really good. And that is Marshawn Lloyd, the running back they drafted. I hope he sucks so keep your eye on Marshawn Lloyd. I think he's going to be really good in Green Bay.
I hope he's horrible.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. I think at the very least he's going to – well, I was about to say he's going to put A.J. Dillon out of a job, but he's the complete opposite of A.J. Dillon. Mm-hmm. So he still has a place.
Number 5 for me.
Hold on, I got to do my number. Oh, wait, no, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. Number 5 for me, the player who you just said, Saquon Barkley, at number 5 on my list. This was the player who I prayed that the Bears were going to get this offseason, but it just didn't end up working out that way. It would have been the coolest fucking thing ever having Saquon Barkley in that backfield with Keenan Allen, with DJ Moore, with Roma Dunze, with Cole Kmet, and Caleb Williams leading the pack. I want to see if you would catch on at some point.
No, I did catch on, but I just didn't feel like doing it. I did catch on.
But yeah, I got Saquon at 5. He's a fucking beast. Just gotta stay healthy.
Yeah.
Which that's the same thing for every single running back on this list.
Yeah. And speaking of staying healthy, that is the reason why I think Breece Hall is not a consensus top 5 running back in the NFL.
Okay.
This guy's a dog, man. He was stuck on the Jets. He's still stuck on the Jets. But with the Jets playing the way they did last year, no one cared about him. But Breece Hall was still just as productive as he's been. This guy is a monster. And with Aaron Rodgers there, I think when we do this list next year, he's going to be number 2 on my list. I'm going to make that prediction right now. I think it'll be Christian McCaffrey, then Breece Hall when we do this list next year. Wow. I'm going to go out on that prediction right now. I think he's that good.
Okay. Wow, that's actually really shocking, dude.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his.
Nice. All right. For my number 4, I have the King, your new running back, Derrick Henry.
Ooh.
I put him at 4 because I don't know. I feel like he kind of fell off last season a little bit. It wasn't the same King magic that we had. I had him on fantasy too, and not just because of fantasy, but from watching him.
I had him
He didn't look
fantasy. He was not good.
Yeah, no. But I think that he's going to improve a lot on the Ravens, and just because of the squad you guys have around him.
Yeah.
Essentially. And the King will do his job.
I
Who's your
agree.
4?
I think he's going to be great in Baltimore, but I'll tell you right now, I don't know if you should expect Derrick Henry to be Derrick Henry in fantasy this year.
Yeah.
Because I think that the Ravens love to get a bunch of guys like Derrick Henry is going to be very good for us, but don't expect him to be like a top 5 fantasy running back. He might be, but I don't know. I don't hate that at all. I have him a little bit higher. My number 4 is another guy that when we do this list next year could easily be number 2, and that's Bijan Robinson.
Oh,
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
He's a monster. I assume you have him higher than I do. There's no way he's not on your list.
I don't have him on my top 20.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you just forget him?
No, I just didn't include him. He's like 25 probably.
No, he's not. I don't believe it. But I just don't believe you on that one.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll get back to that then if that's actually true. I feel like that's not. This guy's a monster. There's really nothing bad about him. Other than CMC, I think he might be the most complete back in the league.
No way. I'd say that like Aaron Jones is better than him. And that's why I have Bijan Robinson at number 3 on my list. Dude, you totally fell for it for a little bit.
For a second.
You did. And the whole audience did. All of you guys did. Everybody did. Yeah, I got Bijan Robinson at 3. Josh is right, dude. He's one of the most complete backs in football. He's a fucking beast. Now we all wonder who my number 2 is.
Yes. Number 3 is where I have Derrick Henry.
Okay.
I
I think we might agree on 2. And
I'll say this.
We agree on 1. We might agree on 2.
I assume we do. But I don't know. CMC is getting close to this, but maybe not. Derrick Henry is the only running back in the NFL that I can confidently say is going to be a Hall of Famer. Confidently. CMC, I think, is approaching that.
Yeah.
But Derrick Henry is the only running back in the NFL that I can confidently say is going to be in Canton one day.
Yeah,
I think he needs a couple more years for it to be, your first ballot. But there's he's the only one. He's a Hall of Fame player. What he's done in his career there's no one else in the league that's been this productive for this long. Even last year, he was still productive. He just didn't have the fantasy production, but he was solid. There were some weird games in there where he just did nothing, like at all. And that is alarming because there were days where he was just straight up awful last season. But when he was good, he looked like Derrick Henry. So I'm very excited to be there. I mean, I think everyone's been saying, and it's true, this guy was meant to be a Raven. He really is. He's just, it feels very similar to what Roquan was when we got him, where it's just like, he belongs here. He belongs in a team like this style, this philosophy. Like when you think of Derrick Henry, you think of him playing for a team that plays the way the Ravens do. And that's why the Ravens have tried to get him in the past. That's why this was a couple of years in the making, him coming here.
Mm-hmm.
But even if he's not what he was at his peak, he's going to, this is, as long as he stays healthy, this will be the first season of Lamar Jackson's career where he'll be second in the team in rushing and not first. Lamar Jackson has led this team in rushing every single year of his career. As long as Henry stays healthy, I assume Lamar will be second. I'm done now anyway.
All right. Number 2. Okay. Right when it hits 45. Right when it hits 45 minutes, you say your number 2. because we both
I
know our
will
number
say,
one.
though,
team.
it feels weird putting him this high
All right, let's
because
see.
just
Ready?
because I don't know, but Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
I mean,
Hey!
he's easily the second best running back in the NFL,
When he's
but
healthy.
the injury scares me to
Yeah.
where I don't know
Dude,
if
his
he's
injury
still the
history
second
is
best.
bad. His injury history is bad.
Yeah, and this one was really bad.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, if we're doing this list next year and he's not even in the top 32, like I could see it. But he's the opposite of what I said about Aaron Rodgers on Monday, where when I see it, I'll put him back higher where he belongs. Chubb's the opposite. When I see that he's not the same player anymore, then I'll adjust accordingly and move him way down the list.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
But until that happens, he's still second, and
Yeah.
he deserves to be.
Yeah, dude,
But-
he's a fucking tank when he's on the field. I love watching Nick Chubb play. You hate it because he's on the Browns. I love it.
Yeah, I've seen this guy in person, man. 2019, before that Titans game in the playoffs, the last time we lost that season was week 5 of that season. And then we won 12 in a row. Before that, we played against the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield and all them. And Nick Chubb had damn near 200 yards on us.
Yeah,
And
bro. It's fucking crazy.
that was the moment where it's like, holy shit, this guy is good. And he's been that his whole career. But that game in 2019 against us, oh my God. That was the last time we lost that entire season until that Titans game. We won 12 in a row after that.
Yeah.
And that was a fun year.
Yeah, dude, he's a fucking tank. He is. And then our number one undisputed, Christian McCaffrey. I mean,
Same as Mahomes.
We don't even really have to say much about him. It's undisputed. He's the number one.
Same thing with Mahomes. Anyone who doesn't have him at number one is just trying to generate a take.
Yeah. Begging for attention. That's all it is. He is a fucking beast. I wish that he won the Super Bowl this year. That would have made me very happy. But sometimes that's just not how the cookie crumbles. I still can't believe that he got saved from fucking.
I wish Gus Edwards won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, of course you do. You do. Well, yeah, no, that's my fucking list. That's our list. We got our top 20s down in the book.
Your list here too. I'll share my screen.
Fuck yeah. We got all of our lists. This week for shows, we thank you guys for watching another week of Burns and Berman. We're going to be doing Wednesday and Friday this week. Those are our 2 dates, Wednesday and Friday, because I'm going to be gone on Monday. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Have fun, be with your families, be with your friends, get drunk, get high, whatever you do, just do it safely and have fun.
I don't know if I'll condone those last two things, but okay.
But I'm just saying, like that's what people do on Memorial Day weekend or like 4th of July. Like that's what people do and light off fireworks. So don't be like Jason Pierre-Paul and blow your fingers off.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't blow your fingers off and make like
Jack's looking there too. Let's Jack.
What?
Overall.
I'm worried put Nick Chubb that high post injury.
Yeah,
I mean,
if he comes out in week 1 and sucks, I'm straight up after that 1 week, I'm gonna move him down to like my low 20s. And would adjust accordingly if he played better in week 2. But
I think the rest of that's fair. I think Aaron Jones is a little high.
yeah, I agree.
I think 10. I think 10 to like 12 range is solid. I put Jahmyr Gibbs a little higher, like 7 range. Besides that, the rest of it's solid. I mean, Derrick Henry. Again, Derrick Henry is just a question mark because it's just a whole new offense.
Yeah. He's not going to be. I mean, Monken was talking about it the other day where he said if Henry gets 300 carries, that means we're doing really good because he wants them to be kind of a closer.
Yeah.
Where if the Ravens are playing in games where it's competitive and he's not going to be a guy that's going to get as many carries as he's had in years past. If he's getting that many, it's because we're trying to run out the clock. So I'm not sure if he's going to be the guy that has an insane amount of yards, but he'll still be good.
Yep. Those are our awesome list, and they're the best ever. You can't find them anywhere else except on Burns and Berman, live at 2 p.m. Central Time, not Eastern Time, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, during football season, it's 100% every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, basically.
Yes.
But yeah, Wednesday and Friday this week, we're gonna be on here. We're doing tight end rankings.
Oh wow, right on cue. I just got this.
What does that say? Hold on.
Literally what I just said about Todd Monken. Exactly what I just said. Right on cue.
Well, but yeah. Todd Monken, too. His nephew was in my class with me, and I'm good buddies with him. I told you about that. But yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us, I think. You good, Josh?
Yeah.
Yep. That's gonna do it for us. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you all so much for joining. We'll talk then. Goodbye,
See you
friends.
guys.